Today we're going to be highlighting Minneola, Florida on the map. Welcome back to Unlocking Central Florida, from Orlando to Tampa and everywhere in between. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Jake, and if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the future, there's information linked below the video. Today we're going to be highlighting Minneola, Florida on the map. So Minneola, Florida is located right next to Claremont. It's located to the northeast of Claremont, and it runs right along Lake Minneola. And Minneola is located to the east of Winter Garden and Orlando and the greater Orlando metro. It's right on the outskirts of the Orlando metro, and US 27 runs right through Minneola. And if you go directly south down Highway 27, it takes you down to Davenport and Haines City. And then of course you can go north up to Mount Dora or go up towards Ocala. So that's where Minneola is located. It's really in the middle of the state like the rest of Orlando, but it's a little bit more inland than a lot of the other parts of Orlando, but you are right next to Lake Minneola. This is a very large lake and there is a lot of water activities, and it is one of the better lakes in Central Florida. And in Minneola as well, there's a lot of hills and scenery. And then taking a closer look at Minneola and some of the major spots in Minneola, you have Lake Minneola and the Waterfront Park, which really runs into Claremont, but there's quite a bit to do along this lake. And then of course that connects straight into downtown Claremont. But then also there's quite a bit along US 27, a lot of different restaurants and shops all along US 27, so it kind of gets spread out from there. You go up north more towards the Turnpike. There's also some hubs up there, up towards the City Hall area, but nothing too big or crazy. It is a smaller town, suburb region of Orlando, but it's not too small between Minneola and Claremont. It's a decent size. There's quite a few nice restaurants and different things to do. You have the Florida Citrus Tower in Minneola as well. So there's different things to do, different restaurants and things to see. There's a lot of scenery. It's very scenic. And then of course, Lake Minneola is one of the major little spots as far as things to do and outside activities as well. There are some different trails. You have Minneola Trailhead Park as well, kind of located in the central region of Minneola as well. But that's overall, that's the closer look of Minneola. As far as drive times, Minneola is about an hour and a half to 2 hours from Daytona Beach, and it's about 2 to 3 hours to Claremont Beach. So to go to the beach, you're about an hour and a half to a 3-hour drive, depending on what time of day you leave and depending on what beach and what side of the state you're going. But it's a pretty reasonable day trip from Minneola. And then it can be anywhere from a 30-minute to over an hour drive going to Disney. Although as new roads are getting built, this will get better in the future, going from the Minneola Claremont area coming down into Disney World. So that's just something to keep in mind, that is something that is currently being worked on. Going from Minneola to the airport in a regular busy part of the day can be anywhere from an hour to 2-hour drive. So it is a pretty decent drive, and that is avoiding tolls. Of course, if you take tolls with a lot of these routes, it can really help cut down the drive times, especially in a place like Central Florida where there are a lot of toll roads if you're trying to cut across the greater Orlando metro area. And then driving from Minneola to Orlando in a somewhat busy time of the day, you're looking at anywhere between a 40-minute drive to an hour and a half drive, just driving from Minneola across through Winter Garden going to Orlando if you have to commute to downtown Orlando or anywhere in that central metro area. And if you're looking to go to Epic Universe in the morning, you're looking for anywhere between a 45-minute to an hour and 40-minute drive. So it can vary quite a bit depending on traffic. So it's a decent drive going over to Epic Universe or anywhere in the Universal area, and similar for SeaWorld as well. It's a little bit closer going over to Disney World and some of those theme parks. And then of course it'd be further if you're going out to Tampa, similar to driving out to Claremont for the beach over there. So you're kind of somewhat centrally located, but as far as Orlando goes, you're a little bit on the edge of the metro area. You're not too far from Disney, and that will get better in the future as far as drive times to Disney World, but outside of that, you are a little bit over on the edge of the Disney metro area. So some of the drives can be a little bit longer, although if you're not having to make those commutes on a daily, then it's really not too bad. And also it is a really scenic area, and there is a decent bit to do as far as just local amenities and just scenic and just things to do outside in the Claremont, Minneola area. Okay, and then as far as what's currently for sale in Minneola, Florida, looking on the map, here is just an idea of what pops up. So you get an idea of what price points are in different parts of Minneola. So you're getting a lot between $300,000 and $600,000, pretty evenly spread out. As you go up more north, there's a little bit higher price points up that way. And then in the south, there's a few more lower price options. Just taking a broad look at it all, there's some lower price points in the further south part of Minneola, and then in the north there's a few higher price points up in the 7, 8, 900,000s, but pretty spread out. 3 to 600,000 is pretty common as far as what's popping up. And then looking at what's for sale right now in Minneola on the map, as far as higher price points, looking at 700,000 or higher, most of the higher price housing is on the east north side, or just in the north part of Minneola especially, with a few options closer to Lake Minneola especially. But even looking at just the higher price housing, most of that's running between 700,000 to 900,000, with a few properties between $1 million and 1.5 million. So that's what you can expect as far as the higher priced housing in Minneola. And then when you look at the housing at 450,000 or less, that gets a little bit more evenly distributed throughout the entire region of Minneola. So that goes all the way down to the south, that goes up to the northwest and the northeast. Pretty good variety of options all throughout, from 300,000 to 400,000, and even some stuff below 300,000 as well. But those are mainly in the south part of Minneola. But that gives you an idea of where some of the pricing is, and as far as what's available, just a rough quick look as far as where prices are in the market. I can't show anything in particular on here. If you would like to take a closer look, we can definitely take a closer look, and I'd be happy to help you find something if you are interested at buying something either in Minneola or Claremont or anywhere in the Central Florida region. And if you are thinking of buying or selling anywhere in Central Florida, definitely look down in the description below. I have information and tools. My team would love to work with you and help you with your next real estate move. That's all for this map tour of Minneola, Florida. Now watch the market report of Minneola, Florida on the screen now.